Brown with Cajun Cardboard, coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with probably one of the last videos you'll see from me in the year 2022. I hope you guys like these videos. These are kind of videos just about me, my personal collecting journey. I'm hoping kind of like this video in particular, you guys could maybe take a similar approach to what I've done. And this is basically a snapshot of the top 150 cards in my collection to kind of figure out where my cards are. It's going to be an investment kind of / collector hybrid video. So from an investment perspective, I think it's important to understand what the constituent parts of your collection are and see if that's really truly the cards that you love, the direction that you want to go in the hobby. But from a collector standpoint, it's important to kind of reevaluate what you have in your collection, and is that truly what you want to collect in the long run? So a little collector, a little investor, I've blacked out all the value. So you're not going to see the value of my top 150 cards. That's not what this video is about. But I did need the value of those cards, or an approximate value, right? It's always fluctuating. I needed an approximate value of those cards so I could figure out what percentage of my top 150 each player or each segment comprises. So really, this is just to give you guys an idea of what I do at the end of the calendar year to sort of take a step back, figure out what I did during the year, how much my card portfolio, that's a super investor term. Yes, I know. Don't hate me, collectors. Kind of figure out a percentage of my portfolio for each of the constituent parts, players, or segments of the hobby. So I know what direction I am headed, and sort of set some goals for 2023 and just kind of show you guys how the top end of my collection is sort of comprised. And so you guys can kind of comment below if you think it's a good thing, a bad thing, a risky thing, a safe thing. If there's something you would change or you would do, whatever. So let's just flip over. I've got a little Google Sheet created here. Again, I'm not the sharpest cat around, so I just use Google Sheets, and I just exported this directly from my PWCC vault. I will say this to hype PWCC and the utility of that vault. It is absolutely fascinating. You can export your vault inventory. So I went into my vault, I sorted it by insured value. It's not an exact science. It's not the card ladder value. It's not the last sold, but it's pretty damn close. But usually it's a little bit under insured. So if a card's worth 500,000, they've probably got 400,000. If it's worth 1,500, they've probably got 1,000 in there, something like that. So it's a little bit low, which is good, and it kind of I guess I would always rather them underestimate what a card's worth. But that's kind of what I use. So I use the PWCC insured value. So my values aren't going to be exactly precise, but that's okay because we're not even looking at values. We're just looking at what percentage of the overall value a particular card or player is. And so you can take that in PWCC, sort your entire collection by insured value, top to bottom or bottom to top. I did top to bottom. I got the top 150. I created I just clicked all of those 150, and then I exported it to an Excel spreadsheet, and then I cut and pasted it and formatted it and put it into one of my Excel spreadsheets on my desktop. And then I started playing around with it and sorted it top to bottom, most valuable to least valuable. As you can see, the first 10 you see in red, those are my top 10 cards. And one of them is not a card. It's actually a 2018 National Treasures hobby case based on insured value. That was number 9 on the list of most valuable assets, I guess you could say, that I have. It fits in there with 9 other cards. So as you can see in my top 10, and we're going to get into a little bit more detail of what's what, but top 10 in here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Jordans. So 6 out of the top 10, 60% of my top 10 cards based on value are Jordans. Again, after that, you're going to see a pretty steady flow of Jordan stuff because you guys know that's kind of the focus of my collecting journey, and what I'm looking to do is grow my Michael Jordan collection. That's what brings me joy. That's what I interact with my friends in the hobby about every day. Do I pick up other cards? Yeah, absolutely. I pick up other cards, and we're going to look at some of that stuff in just a second. But I've got all these cards sorted highest to lowest, 1 through 150. I've got the player name over here, so it was easy to pick out which cards were which. The description from PWCC is right here in the middle, and then the grade of those cards is over here to the right-hand side, because I also wanted to show you guys what percentage of my top 150 are comprised of PSA versus BGS, and then Gem PSA, Gem BGS, etc., etc. And then I even went ahead and tabulated which of these 150 cards I intend to sell in the year 2023. Sorry, I need more energy. Obviously, I'm not talking fast enough. But that's it. So just put this list together, and so let's kind of talk about what I found, what the results were. And again, I'm not doing this. I mean, I can do this on my own. I did it, and I didn't need to hit the record button. I'm hitting the record button so maybe you guys can get some use and utility out of doing something similar with your collection. You don't need a PWCC vault if you keep a spreadsheet of all the cards you own or whatever. You guys can kind of do this on your own. God dang it. How do I get over? Let me get over. Get over. Here we go. All right, so here we go. So out of my 150 cards, 87 of those cards were Michael Jordan cards, as you can see right here. That comprises 58% of my of the cards, right? Not the value, but the cards. If you look over here at value, Michael Jordan comprises 73% of the value of my collection. That's my goal. That's good. I like that number. I like to know that most of my money, the vast majority, 73% of my top 150 money is in Michael Jordan cards. That didn't surprise me. If you asked me to guess before I tabulated this, I probably would have said about 80%. So 73 actually, is a little bit lower than I suspected, but that's okay. You don't always want to put all your eggs in one basket, even when that basket, is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But right after Jordan, the next most cards I have is LeBron James, and followed closely by Giannis. As far as percentage of cards, 12% of the cards are LeBron out of the 150. 18 out of the 150 are LeBron, 12 out of the 150 are Giannis. And so LeBron and Giannis were at very close seconds. The next closest as far as quantity of cards, I grouped soccer all together. I have 9 soccer cards out of my top 150 most valuable cards in my collection. 8 of those cards are Erling Haaland refractor rookies, which I bought purely as a bulk investment in a calculated risk that I decided to take, that he was going to break that record this year and those cards were going to be worth more. They're worth less than what I purchased the cards for right now, so I'm under on that. But I expected that because Erling Haaland wasn't playing in the World Cup. Norway didn't make the World Cup, and all eyes were on Messi and Mbappe and Ronaldo and England and Bellingham and Foden and all these rookies, and I get all that. I might pick up a couple more, to be quite honest with you. I know that sounds crazy, but I really believe that Erling Haaland is going to etch his name in history as early as this spring/summer when he breaks the all-time scoring record in the Premier League. Call me crazy. He's way ahead of pace. He's in a fertile starting 11 that's just feeding balls to him, and he's a monster. His first game back was yesterday. They played in the Carabao Cup against Liverpool. He scored 10 minutes into the game. So it doesn't look like he's missed a beat. It doesn't look like Man City's missed a beat. They're going to win the Prem. I shouldn't say that. They should win the Prem. I know Arsenal's at top table right now. But so 9 cards in here, Erling Haaland. One of those cards is a Neymar 2014 Prism World Cup 10-10 autograph Pop 2 card. So a nice card there. But 9 of the cards, 6% of the 150 are soccer cards. It's only 2% of the value, though. So let's keep that in perspective. 2% of my top 150 value is in those Erling Haalands and that one Neymar card. So the vast majority is Jordan, followed not closely, but in a very distant way from LeBron, and then Giannis. And I mean, out of those 12 cards, maybe 9 of those cards now are Prism rookie parallels or Prism rookie cards. That's kind of my what's left of my Giannis collection. I have moved some of those for a good profit. Over the last 4 years, I've moved a large number of LeBrons for a very good profit, Giannis. But what's left of Giannis is primarily my 2013 Prism Rookie Rainbow, all of which are in BGS 9.5 or BGS 10. I just decided that was the grade I was going to go with that. So that's 5% of my 150 value. Then I've got 1 Kobe card, 1 Duncan card. 4% of the 150 is those 2 cards. Again, they're big cards. They're the 1997 Metal Universe PMG Reds, the precious metal gems. So they are very important, cards of Kobe and of Duncan, specifically the Duncan, because it's a rookie card. So it's probably one of Duncan's 3 or 4 best rookie cards in maybe top 10 for sure. So big card. And then wax. I have 3 pieces of wax. And you guys know I can't not rip wax if I have it. So I had to get these over to Oregon and put them in my vault to get them the hell away from me. I have 3 wax items. Number 1, I have a 2016 National Treasures unopened case with, that's of course Doncic and Trae Young and Simons and MPJ and whoever else from 2018. It's pretty good class. I have the 2016 case, which is looking better and better each day. That's DeJounte Murray. That is Jamal Murray. That is Jaylen Brown. That is Brandon Ingram. That is Chris Dunn. No, I'm just kidding about the Chris Dunn. But that's a good case as well, and get a little bit better each day, despite the fact that Simmons used to be the big draw in there, even though he didn't have autographs. I think he was Upper Deck specific, so you had to go to Goodwin Champions to get, or Upper Deck or Goodwin Champions to get, Ben Simmons autographs. But that 2016 National Treasure case, and then the last one is just a 1988 Fleer unopened wax box, BBCE certified. So that was the third one, and not a huge item, but nevertheless, it does fall in my top 150 most valuable items. And actually, I picked that up from Primetime Sports Collectibles, my good friend Bruce up in the Washington, Maryland, D.C. area. Really good dealer and collector up there. Shout out to Bruce. He used to be my local card shop owner here on Sherwood Forest in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And now he's up there, and we talk pretty regularly. And then, soccer's 2%. Wax is 3%. And then you get to just a couple of cards for each player. So you guys know I've started collecting Lillard. I started that in 2022, probably second quarter of 2022. And so there's 4 Lillard cards in the top 150 of my collection. That's only a 1% value. Just to give you the difference in the disparity of like a Lillard and a LeBron or a Jordan. Shaq, I collect Shaq. He's one of my primary PCs, probably my 5th PC based on what you're seeing here in these top 150 numbers. 1% Shaq, 1% Doncic. Doncic used to be a much bigger number, but I decided to kind of ease out of ultra modern. I don't know what you guys think about that. I don't know what you guys are doing. I just decided, despite the fact that Doncic appears to be a can't miss and has just a myriad of fantastic accolades waiting to be snatched and taken, and maybe be the face of the NBA for another 10 years along with Giannis and those guys. I'm just worried about everything after 2018. There's just so many printed. So I decided to bounce on Doncic, and I've got a few left over. As you can see, I've only got 3 out of my top 150 most valuable cards are Doncic, so that's 1%. I had 2 Kareem PSA 9 stickers, which, believe it or not, are worth a lot of money. We know that PSA 10's a $250,000, but the PSA 9s even are worth enough to fit in the top 150 of my collection. And those cards are actually part of sets. So I've got 2 PSA 9 86 Fleer sticker sets with PSA 9 stickers. And base, so 143 card sets. I've got 2 PSA 9 sets, which I might look to move, to be honest with you, in 2023. I'm not sure on that. I'm kind of torn on that. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about 1986 Fleer? It had this absurd run up. You guys know I sold my PSA 10 set in 2022, and then now it's come crashing back down. It's still way up from where it was in 2018, 19, 20, but I don't know if I should move those PSA 9 86 Fleer sets. I love that set. It means a world to me. Maybe I'll sell one and keep one. And then I've got 3 PSA 8 sets. I don't know. Let me know what you think I should do on those. I'm kicking myself in my own nutsack for not selling those at the peak, because I could have made a fortune and then bought back in if I really wanted to. But I missed it because I'm an idiot and I made some terrible decisions in 2022. I'm always transparent with you guys. Sometimes I make really good moves and I tell you about it. And when I make really dumb moves, or I don't make moves I should have, I tell you guys about that too. Not cashing in on my PSA 8, 9, and 10 86 Fleer sets is unquestionably the biggest financial disaster of my entire life. Of course, buying into those in 2019 is probably one of the best financial decisions I've ever made in my life. So it's funny how it cuts both ways. Hopefully we can laugh about that. But I have 1 vintage card. It's really not even. It's that 1980 Topps autograph, BGS autograph buyback, autographed by Bird and Magic, their rookie card. I've got 2 Anthony Simons National Treasure RPA PSA 9, which, believe it or not, fit within my top 150 at the moment. I've got a De'Aaron Fox NT RPA, true RPA, number to serial number to 99 that fits in here. And then I know this is going to sound crazy. I've actually got a Russell Westbrook card. It's it's an orange chrome, Topps Chrome orange refractor BGS 10 that actually fits in my top 150 cards near the bottom, but it's in there. So Russell Westbrook in there, and that's a card I bought into that I'm doing fine on because again, I think the best value for Russell Westbrook is years down the road when he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, because he is one of the greatest statistical point guards that ever lived. And I know everybody's got recency bias and Westbrook, and he's a bad this, bad that, but he is going to age very well like a fine wine in this hobby. Trust me, when people go back and watch what Russell Westbrook did, maybe not as far as, winning rings, but like statistically, he's special and he deserves attention, and he will get it, I think, at some point in the hobby down the road. That's just my opinion. But anyway, let's look a little bit closer. It's that was, kind of a player breakdown by number of cards and by percentage of value. How many 2018 to present cards out of my top 150 are there? So only one of my top 70 cards is 2018 or later, and that's not an accident. I made this transition in 2022. My goal was to get out of ultra modern and move it into Jordan, and it's just that simple. And I did it, and I did it in a massive way. It took some time, and it was a year-long endeavor, and I'm not done. But the only item, and I shouldn't even say card, item out of the top 70 on my list is the National Treasures wax case, which I plan to hold on to for a little bit. And that's that one, obviously, with Trae Young and Doncic and Simons and MPJ and all those guys. So we'll see how it turns out. Maybe I should sell that now. What do you think in the comments? Move that 2018 National Treasures case. I'm content just to hold that thing for a little bit here and see what happens. That's what I'm going to do. Let me know what you think in the comments. What would you do if you were sitting on a 2018 National Treasures 4-box case? I'm just going to sit on it. I'm into it for $4,250. It's obviously worth a lot more than that. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with it. I'm fine to ride that out. There's going to be fewer and fewer, and it is what it is. And I think 10 years down the road, that case will be worth more. Just like Exquisite 2003 is worth quite a bit more than it was maybe 10 years after release. 20 years after release, it's worth way more. So I'm going to sit on that National Treasures case. Both those National Treasure cases, I'll just sit on those. 13 of my top 150, so less than 10% of my 150 top 150 cards are 2018, 19, or 20. And I don't think I have a single 2020 card, and I don't think I have maybe one 2019 card that would fit in this list of top 150. Again, not a lot of exposure on the ultra modern stuff. I really hate to see how much those cards are going down, but they're not the only cards going down. Vintage is, some vintage is going down. Jordans that are on this list are going down. So none of these cards are immune to a macroeconomic collapse, which we're freaking dealing with right now, but hopefully we're approaching the bottom. We shall see. As far as what's PSA and what's BGS, these add up to 98.6%. That's because 3 of them are wax. I have 3 wax items in there, so those are not PSA or BGS. The rest are PSA or BGS. I don't have any RAW. I don't have any SGC. I don't have any TAG. I don't have any CSG. I don't have any HGA. I don't have any what else? Who did I forget? I don't know. But every single, or 147 of the 150 are PSA or BGS graded, and that could be a rounding error as well. It's 148. Actually, I think I must have miscalculated because I have 3 wax in there, so it should be 147. But you get the idea. A few more PSA than BGS, which is to be expected. But remember, a lot of these cards are Jordan 90s cards and Shaq 90s cards. And Giannis 2013 Prism. So BGS was very viable and the leader in the industry in the 90s and early 2000s. So that's why a lot of these cards are BGS graded. So 5741, I guess a lot of people who started collecting after, maybe 2019, 2020 would probably have a much different percentage in their collection, maybe a higher percentage of PSA cards. Let me know what you think about this. Is that okay? Is BGS a good investment right now? Is that gap between PSA and BGS going to get bigger or going to get lower? You guys let me know what you think. And then I went ahead and went a little step further. 6 out of the 150 are BGS 10s, 4.0%. None of them are black labels. I do have a couple black labels, but they aren't in the top 150 value, cards I have. 65 of the 150 are PSA 10. graded cards. So 43%. So 57% are PSA graded, 43% are PSA 10 graded, which is I think good, and kind of a way to institute some pop control of your own, or some scarcity of your own, by focusing kind of on gem graded cards. It lowers the I guess the scarcity of it. It kind of increases the scarcity of it and kind of controls pop on your own. BGS 9.5, 52. So 52 of the 62 are BGS 9.5, 65 of the 86 PSA graded or PSA 10s. So 78, almost 78% of the graded cards in here are gem mint cards, and that's kind of my focus, because you guys know I'm a grade snob, and I know there's going to be some old school collectors in here who are going to be like, buy the card, not the grade. That's great. That's something that a lot of people can do. I'm not one of those people. I've got some OCD issues, and I want the gem mint card, and sometimes I pay a premium for that. So for better or worse, I know some people laugh at me. Some people are like, yeah, good job. But again, that's how I collect it, and everybody collects different. What percentage of these 150 are for sale that I literally intend to move in the year 2023? It's surprisingly, it's 26 out of the 150. So about 17.3% I intend to move in the year 2023. Again, any card with the name Jordan next to it is not for sale, because every one of those 150, there were no duplicates in there. Well, there was a couple PSA 9s, but those were within Fleer sets. Actually, that number might actually go up, because some of those Jordan cards that are in my 150 are like 86 Fleer stickers and rookie cards, PSA 9s, that made it in that top 150. If I decided to move a PSA 9 set, I would probably move, or PSA 8 set. It would include moving the Jordan as well. So I'm not sure how I would move those. I don't know if I would sell them as a set. I would obviously try to do that privately first on IG. If that didn't work, I would have to make a decision between just moving it over to Probstein and consigning, or selling them as a set with Probstein, or selling them as a set with PWCC Weekly, or breaking them up and selling them individually on PWCC Weekly. I don't know. I'd have to make that decision when the time comes. Obviously, IG would be my first choice. I don't think anybody could disagree with that. If you're willing to put in the work and go find the buyer and not pay any fees, that's the way to do it. It's just, it takes a little work and sending a bunch of messages. And I'll be honest with you, 86 Fleer sets aren't exactly, high on people's radar right now, things to buy into. Although, I'm not sure. We're getting to a point where there may be a buy point, right? If you go look at the price of PSA 8 sets right now, it's very low, and certainly something to at least start considering if you ever did think about getting into 86 Fleer. But I'm not here to pump and dump. You guys make your own decisions on that. I'm very biased when it comes to 86 Fleer stuff. So that's it, guys. That's sort of the breakdown. Jordan, LeBron, Giannis, not a surprise. If you watch my channel, you knew that. I guess maybe some of you might have thought Lillard would be higher. Problem is, Lillard cards just aren't worth that much. So only 4 of my Lillard collection. I've got a pretty nice Lillard collection. Only 4 of them fit in my top 150, just because his cards aren't worth as much. Just like Westbrook, I think Lillard and Westbrook are going to age well. I think at some point, those collector bases will endure, just sort of like almost like a Tracy McGrady, a Vince Carter, and Iverson. Those guys who are not, they're not Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, but there's a collector base for those guys, and they're going to be fine long term. But let me know what you guys think. Again, we've talked about these cards all the time, so I don't need to go through this crap with you guys again. You've seen these cards a million times, but this is just what I do. And I hit the record button because I thought maybe the way I do it would appeal to some of you guys, so you guys can step back and assess and take inventory of what is in your collection, especially the top end of your collection. Is it what you want it to be? Are those the cards you love? And if they're not the cards you love, maybe you move 26 of them in the year 2023 and pick up 3 new Jordans that really mean a lot in your top in your top 50 maybe even. So that's kind of where I'm at, is I'm moving money around, and that's what the year 2022 is going to mean to Cajun Cardboard for the rest of my life. I'm going to remember this was the year that I sold more cards than every other year of my life combined. Not just quantity, but quality. A lot of selling this year in 2020, but a lot of buying as well, to be quite honest with you. But it made me happy because I felt like I was just moving money from one place in the hobby to another. I don't, it's not like I went and bought a yacht or something like that. I sold and pooled a ton of money, but I also put a ton of money, reallocated it into Jordans. And so I think that's what a lot of people are doing, whether it's on a very high end scale, way higher than me. Some people out there, some of the cards I see people selling are freaking humongous, 7-figure cards, high 6-figure cards. And then some people are doing it, on, like I am, all the way from low end to mid end to a couple of high end. I've sold a $250,000 card this year, and I sold probably, I'm not exaggerating, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 PSA slabs that are worth less than $50. I'm not exaggerating. Like I said, I built up a very big inventory, and so it was causing anxiety, and it was sitting over here in my office behind my desk. I even had to buy office furniture that you guys can't see off camera just to move all this crap, put it somewhere. And then I was like, no, I've got to be done with it. I've got to stop penny pinching. PWCC Weekly, take some. Probstein, take some. I had a local consignor working for me, take some. I did some work on eBay, get that out. I gave my son, Cajun Jr., some cards to sell on eBay and gave him a cut. Take this. I didn't have the time to list it all myself. So 2022 for me personally is always going to be remembered as the year of selling and the year cards went down. It's the first time cards have gone down in a long time, but you got to see the positive in everything. And 2022 served its purpose. It was an awakening. It was an understanding. I got myself a lot more educated in the hobby in a lot of different areas. Soccer cards, Lillard cards, buying and selling. And I found a new avenue on how to liquidate cards and got a little bit better at letting go of cards and then hyper focusing on the cards that I truly love and I want to collect and hold for Cajun eternity. Copyright Cajun Cardboard. And so that's what you're seeing. And 124 of the cards that you see on this 150 list aren't going anywhere, man, anytime soon. Like, no, absolutely not. There's not a price. If they could run again, I'd love it. But I wouldn't move any of these cards because each one of these is unique. There's only a few duplicates. And like I said, 26 out of the 150 are going to be for sale in the year 2023. That's a low percentage. So the rest of them are not going anywhere. They're going to sit safely in my PWCC vault for a long time. Let me know what you guys think. Again, some people get offended because I'm here talking about my own personal collection, but I figured why not hit record? Maybe somebody learned something from this. Maybe somebody can teach me something. Maybe somebody's going to put something in the comments that's like, hey, have you ever thought about instead of doing this, or don't sell them this way, sell them this way, or, put these cards together or move in this direction. I'm all ears, man. I love this hobby, not just from a collector standpoint, but also from an investor standpoint. So, if you haven't seen my blue pill, red pill video, go back and watch it. Most of you watching probably have seen that video. Go find it in the videos and go watch that video. Because the question is, what are cards going to do over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years? Would you take the pill that says cards stay the same? They don't go up, they don't go down, they're stuck forever. Would you want that? Is that what you want? Are you that big of a collector? Or do you like rolling the dice? Do you like the excitement of cards going up and down and taking losses and taking profits? Do you like that aspect of the hobby more than just the collecting and accumulating and the appreciating and the sharing? So that's a good video that's out there. Do me a favor. One of my subscribers and viewers reminded me I should do this every time. Apparently hitting the like button helps me with the YouTube algorithm. I didn't know that. Hit the like button right now. If you don't mind, do me that favor. If you also don't mind, subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell icon for notifications, but just start banging the like button every time you watch a video, assuming you like it. I'm not telling you to hit it if you don't like me, but hit that like button because it really does help me. And at some point, I got to monetize this shit because I'm spending so much time talking on here that I've got some explaining to do when it comes to Mrs. Cajun Cardboard. So I got to start monetizing this at some point. And the more I monetize it, the better cards I can buy, which means the better cards we can share and look at together on here. So that's kind of my goal, try to make a few bucks in the hobby and also just enjoy the accumulating and the appreciating and the sharing in the community has been freaking amazing. So hopefully 2023 will be a year where we see the bottom of card prices dipping and it starts to stabilize and make more sense. There is a saturation point, guys. It's out there. I promise we're going to see it. I don't know if it's in 2023. It may not be. We may dip into 2024. I have no idea. I'm curious to get y'all's comments. I'm not a macroeconomist, so but I know this, if I'm buying cards at a discount and selling cards at a discount, then I don't understand what the harm is. It doesn't matter to me. If I'm just moving money from cards to cards, let's go put that money in the cards that I truly love and want to hold for Cajun eternity. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great Christmas and a great New Year. Spend some time with your family. I don't take any of your time for granted. I know my videos are long-winded and in-depth and highly detailed, and that's not for everybody. But if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Thanks for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Happy New Year's and peace.